What's going on? What's up, the nation? This your man CW coming to you with another hot topic, trending topic about those Carolina Panthers. Before we get into it, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, like and share the video as well. As always, I love the support. Also, head over to Prize Picks. First time users, if you have not used the promo code Keep Pounding, anything up to $100, Prize Picks will match your deposit. Choose anywhere between 2 and 6 projections and 25 times your money. So, with Frank Reich going ahead and getting most of his coaches in, with just one opening left with the wide receiver coach, what does that mean for this Carolina Panther coaching staff? Has Frank Reich exceeded expectations as the fan base? Has he exceeded expectations as the media? Let's get into it. So when we did have Matt Rhule here as our former head coach, David Tepper wanted Matt Rhule to do what? Bring experienced coaches on his coaching staff with experience for former players or having some type of coordinator or some type of position coaches. Yes, he did have that from the college ranks, but nothing was definitely set in stone with experience from the NFL side. Yes, we had Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo was okay back in the day, but he wasn't really anything um, in the current years, meaning 2 or 3 years. But when Frank Reich came in, he said that he asked David Tepper to open up his checkbook and write checks for these coaches that he wanted to bring in. Then number two, he said that we were going to have a experienced head, coaching staff from top to bottom, and that goes into his pillars that he said during his introductory press conference. Meaning, it starts with the players, it starts with the coaches, it starts with the ownership, and it starts with the fans. And ownership has showed from our past mistakes where David Tepper has sat there and just jumped on the hottest steam to get someone that is well respected around the NFL. Frank Reich is a respected coach. Then for Frank Reich to sit and get three three coaches to join his staff that interview for this coaching opening is very impressive. Then when you just look at the youth that intertwines within this coaching staff with the old and the new scheme and the new coaching staff, what more can Frank Reich sit here and do? When you really look at it, the balance between young and ascending coaches with our offensive coordinator being Thomas Brown, with Easy E. Evero being our defensive coordinator, with Josh McCown being a veteran as a quarterback as a backup for 16 years, and establishing with former head coaches Jim Caldwell and Don Capers, it's really hard to pull off because that just shows the respect level that this man was able to get Jim Caldwell and Easy Evero to come over and be position coaches on his staff after they lost out on being the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Then, when you just look at the experience on the defensive side of the ball, we have 21 years of experience on that defensive side of the ball. That's way more experience than what possibly, well, we definitely know what Matt Rhule had on this staff. And then, not say anything about Steve Wilkes, but do we really think Steve Wilkes could have pulled off a coaching staff like this with 21 years of experience on the defensive side of the ball, just one side of the ball? Hey, like I said, so far, just talking about just the mindset of our new head coach with old and new is fantastic. Then to even go into, we're talking about experience as coaching. Just look at the list of names that are former players: Josh McCown, Deuce Staley, Sean Jefferson, Thomas Brown, James Campen, D'Angelo Hall. Then former two NFL head coaches on your staff as well, with Don Capers and Jim Caldwell. That's an impressive resume just for coaches on one staff. Then also, some of your position coaches now interview for OC jobs for different teams. So does that mean that, hey, CW, are you saying that we have coaches on here lined up to take over if we lose a coach? Possibly. But Frank Reich has done an exceptional job with his coaching staff, regardless of what people feel of experience with OCs, experience with D coordinators. Even with our new OC that got announced on Friday night, Sean McVay did not want to lose Thomas Brown regarding as one of the best teachers he has worked with in raising offensive minds. But he couldn't block Brown from a great opportunity like this to be the OC in Carolina because it was a promotion. What this really means is Frank Reich has done a great job. Yes, on paper, our coaches look very well. But now it's time for us to sit here from on paper to coach. Yes, you got all these great coaches with accolades, known coaches. You got people leaving networks to join your staff. Now it's time to transition into the combine that starts on February 27th for you to scout these players that want to come in, that you want to come in and produce from day one. Then you transition into free agency. Then you go down to Spartanburg and sit here and get ready for training camp. Then you have preseason. Then you jump to opening day in Charlotte if that's week 1, week 2, whatever week that is. But overall, I give Frank Reich a solid B plus with this staff. From again, just names Jim Caldwell, who interviewed for this position day 2 or day 1 for this coaching hire. He's now a senior assistant. You bring Don Capers, our first coach as the Carolina Panthers, in to help Easy E. Evero with this defense like he did back in Denver. Then you bring in Deuce Staley, who was highly recommended for OC jobs to come back home. Then you get D'Angelo Hall to leave the NFL Network to join this coaching staff, not as a head position coach, but as an assistant. David Tepper may have not understood or changed his ways or learned from his mistakes. But so far, I had to give this man a checkbox because this man really, once Frank Reich got in play, has introductory press conference. We haven't heard anything. Yes, I know the man has a lawsuit against him with the previous regime, but he promised Frank Reich he'll open his checkbook. No, we don't know Frank Reich's contract. No, we don't know any of these coaches' contracts. But I will say we do know that our defensive coordinator is the highest paid defensive coordinator according to reports because we outbidded the Minnesota Vikings that also wanted him. Does that mean that some of these coaches that were fighting along different positions or trying to be OCs, that David Tepper said, hey, come here, I'll write that check for you? Possibly. But also, even with some of these coaches, we have 21 Super Bowl appearances / winning championships on this coaching staff. What player would not want to get experience from a coach or a player that has won a Super Bowl? Then you add 21 plus years of Super Bowl experiences on this team. I love it. I'm excited. I'm ready for the wheels to get kicked off, and let's go ahead. And September rolls around, but we have to be patient. But for right now, Frank Reich has sat here and set the standard. And he's definitely made an impression on this fan base and in the NFL media with this coaching staff. Tell me what you guys think. Again, we also here on What's Up, Doug, appreciate the support. If you have not, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. We'll be doing a jersey giveaway here next month for our subs that have came over to What's Up, Doug. Also, we'll be doing another Cash App giveaway once we hit 500 subscribers. As always, again, I love you guys. One love. C Dougie out. Stay tuned.